But anyway, the bed was shaking, and I was like, I can't explain it. I would sit up, make sure I was awake, and I would just study the motion of the bed. And I'm like, okay, it's very slow, it's very rhythmic. Why is this happening? So then we would just ignore it. And then the last couple years, Debbie moved to Phoenix from Chicago. She lives with me now, and I remember one night she woke up and she's like, the bed's shaking. And I said, and she was fearful of this whole thing. She was so scared of it all in the beginning. And I'd say, no, it's not shaking. No, it's fine. And I would try to relax her. But then the next morning, I would say, so that woke you up? And she said, yeah, it was shaking. And I said, it was shaking. And I went on to explain to her how it's happened probably over a dozen times to me. And, since then it's happened, I think, 3 times with her. But if it happens now, I sit up and I say, can you please stop shaking the bed? This is where I sleep. And when we sleep, we don't want to be bothered, but I will talk to you tomorrow. And then it instantly stops. It just stops like that. That's, to me, is some kind of validation that maybe they're trying to wake me up to say, hey, turn on your boxes or something. We want to talk. So
probably.
I don't get scared by it at all anymore. None of it. Only one time have I gotten physically ill from it in Virginia City, Nevada. And for about 20 minutes, I was a bit shaken up, and this was just recent. And then after that, I was like, okay, ready to go back in and do it again. So I don't let it scare me. I always stay positive. I always stay with the respect, and I try not to let any fear creep in, because I believe fear, the fear that you have over this is what does the most damage. There's that old saying, there's nothing to fear but fear itself. And in this case, I think that that's mainly true, because I've seen people with the Ouija board, for example, and they're deathly afraid of it. And, they'll sit down and use it, and they'll be convinced, because if it spells out a devil or something negative, they're convinced that now a demon is attached to them, and it drives, their own brain drives themselves crazy because they're convinced something's after them, something's watching them. And so it's the people that do the most damage to themselves from the fear of it. So I found when you dropped all fear, there's rarely, if ever, any problems whatsoever. They always tell me through my devices that there's multiple spirits in my house. They say that they're attached to me, and I don't feel it. I don't feel any negativity. I don't feel anything, changed in my life because of it. So I don't mind it. I welcome it, which also could be a reason why I get so many responses. One of my theories was that if I had a spirit attached to me, I was walking, somewhere that had a history, and I was recording for EVPs, say. If I have a spirit on me or next to me or in me, and other spirits see this spirit, they'll be like, hey, this guy's okay to talk to, so maybe we'll talk to him. That's a theory of mine as well. I don't know, but, I don't let any fear get into me. I don't mind that there's spirits coming in and out of my house. I don't, it doesn't bother me whatsoever. And I don't have any problems in the house. The bed shaking to me is not a problem. It doesn't happen often at all. Every now and again it'll happen. But since I've been more firm with the rules, which I will say aloud, I don't have that problem really anymore with the bed even. So it's crazy. That's all I know.
You have to, you definitely have to set boundaries with them. I mean, and even, my friends with psychic abilities, they'll be like, okay, they have to learn how to turn it on and turn it off. Like, if you don't talk to me before midnight, your ass will have to wait to talk to me tomorrow because that's my bedtime. And things like that. And they seem to work with them so far. But with me, I'm just, I recently I wondered my whole life why I was having dreams and things would happen beforehand. And they would be tragic, big, huge things. It wasn't anything small. I would have feelings about, like I told my sister, you're pregnant, you're going to have a boy, and I'll be damned if she didn't even know she was pregnant. And then she goes,
oh, wow.
How did you know that? And I'm like, well, my mom used to do that to people too. I mean, it's just something that we felt.
So weird that you mentioned that, because that's something I forgot about, and I never considered it paranormal. As I'd say starting from 17 through 26, 27, anytime I would see a pregnant woman, I would instantly know if it was a boy or girl to them, and I would say, you're having a boy or you're having a girl. And I've never been wrong. I had 100% hit rate. And I don't know why that is, but as soon as I would walk up to them, I would just know, boy or girl. And it's funny that you said that, I didn't know, I wouldn't be able to walk up to somebody and know they're pregnant if they weren't showing, but I did have a perfect record for predicting the sex of the babies. So that was interesting that you said that. That reminded me.
You have to be real careful walking up to a female who does look pregnant and say, you're pregnant and you're going to have a baby because you could get the shit knocked out of you.
Yeah, that's true. You could, right?
I won't do that unless, that was my sister, so I felt okay with that.
Yeah.
So, I wouldn't do that to just anybody, though, because I've had my grandfather even go, so are you pregnant again? I'm like, really, dude? Seriously. Yeah, I know I've gained a couple pounds, but no, I'm not pregnant. Thank you very much. But no, I've always had, those kind of things happen. But I really wasn't pinned as an empath or labeled as an empath until like a couple of years ago. And I was like, he was asking me all these questions, and I went to this psychic thinking, I'm going to get to sit down and talk to like this Teresa Caputo lady, and I'm going to dial up my mom, and she's going to tell me what I want to know, and she's going to write it down on her little notebook pad and with her little tape recorder, and we're going to have a good time. Well, that's not how it happened. I walk in, and she starts asking me questions about me, and I'm like, hold up. Well, she asked me all the ones, and I was like, yeah, I do that. Yeah. She goes, you're an empath. And I'm like, look, I've been called a lot of things in my life, but what the hell is an empath? So she, she told me that, and I was like, wow. It was like one of those aha moments that, just opened up everything and it all made sense at that one moment. Like, okay, that's why. That's why I could feel my mom's sickness. That's why I could feel when there was tension and nobody would tell me about it. That's why, I picked up on all that when I was a child. And so it's in the paranormal, it's you have to learn what is your feelings and what is actually spirit, and that is where I'm at now. I'm learning to do that. Have you been able to pick up on, say you walk into a location and you're perfectly fine, and then all of a sudden you're pissed off? And I know you got sick that one time, and it was pretty intense. Have you ever had those kind of feelings? Yeah,
that happens to me as well, and that's been happening for a long time with me, but I never really understood what the deal was, and but I too, like 4 or 5 years ago, people were saying you're an empath, and I was like, okay. And so I looked into it, and I was like, well, it makes sense. It's highly possible. So, yeah, I think I'm the same as you in that regard, definitely.
Yeah. It helps with also with me when I go into a location, if I'm perfectly fine, because I really get it's like almost an adrenaline rush for me. The creepier the place, the better. And so when I go in there, I'm like really trying to connect, but I can feel them. And sometimes I have to like step out and go, hold up. Whoo!
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot going on up in there.
Yeah,
and
that's awesome.
That's been happening quite a bit. Well, I was going to ask you, we only got like a couple of minutes left, and I wanted to know, what are your future plans? What have you got going besides what are you up to?
Okay, so yeah, we have that going on. There's a new app that was supposed to be out in June that I'm working on with Anthony Sanchez called the Impossible Box, and he got really busy with the Vasabus and a couple other things, and he's working on it. It's being worked on as we speak, but I'm not exactly sure when it's coming out. I'm going to have to guess first week of September. A lot of people are asking me about that, and the Impossible Box is basically a new app that will. It's called Impossible Box for a reason, and I've never really spilled the beans on what it is exactly. But let's just say that if you get evidence, and there's two modes of it, and one mode is the impossible mode. And if you get evidence using the impossible mode, it proves without a shadow of a doubt that you're conversing with some form of intelligence or spirit. It's something you can show skeptics and say, explain how I received this while using this. And it's not what I've been experimenting with the sound banks. It's not that at all. It's something totally different. And the first part of the Impossible Box is going to be basically like a spirit-activated ghost box. So it's going to be silent until they have something to say, and then they'll spout out what they want to say. They'll trigger it to work. And it's going to be pretty cool if it comes out exactly how I'm imagining. But Anthony says that it's not a problem. He's going to get it done, and it's going to be amazing. So I'm hoping that that's the case. Other than that, I'm just going to be doing some investigations at the end of this year. And next year I'm going to focus more on doing a lot of different locations, getting out of the house more and traveling, and, that's about it really. Just
well, good.
Documentary and,
we're coming back to we're coming back to Tombstone November 6th and 7th, and I hope that you can come over there and kind of dilly with us for a little bit, and maybe we can get some cool evidence.
Yeah, well, I'm in Arizona, so it's only like a 3-hour drive. I could just drive that. It's not a big deal, and I'd love to go hang out with you guys and do some investigating, and it'd be cool. Definitely. Yeah,
because we actually have locations that we actually have access to this time. It's amazing. So, well, tell everybody how they can find you and stuff like that if they want to watch all these cool videos.
Okay, you can go to YouTube, and my YouTube, just go to YouTube and search Huff Paranormal. And the cool thing is, I have this goal of hitting 100,000 subscribers by January. I don't know if I could do it, but I think it's at like 83,500 now. And when I hit that 100,000, I'm going to give away a fully tricked out portal. So go to YouTube and subscribe, and that's Huff Paranormal. Facebook, same thing, Huff Paranormal. And my website, huffparanormal.com. And if you're interested in photography, cameras, lenses, you can check out stevehufpphoto.com. And that's about it.
Well, man, I really, really appreciate you being on my show tonight, and I know
pleasure.
my audience was stoked. If you'll just hang tight with me for a second, I'm going to read off a couple of announcements, and I really appreciate it, Steve.
Thank you.
All right, guys, August 28th and 29th, we are going to be with ASAP Entertainment at Hill House Manor in Gainesville, Texas. We got a couple of crazy people like me and Scott Grinwald, among others, like Dash Beardsley, Huey Snyder, Phil Gray is doing a free psychic reading. Mark Bull and Jeremy Leonard will also be there, and we will be having a blast. So you get your tickets. They are $60 for the whole entire thing, VIP. Also, we got September 25th through the 27th. We will be in Biloxi, Mississippi with Mrs. Paula Westbrook at Gulf Coast Paracon. Get your tickets for that now. Randy, Kevin, and a bunch of us will be there. Do not miss it. October 3rd is Beckham Spirit Fest in Mineola, Texas. October 9th and 10th is Old South Hospital. ASAP has yet to announce the guests that will be there, but they have it up on their website, so that will be selling tickets shortly. And then, last but not least, we have Tombstone, November 6th and 7th, and, of course, Tombstone, Arizona. So if you guys would like any of those tickets, look on Close to Death Facebook page or FEAR Paranormal Society Facebook page, and all the ticket information will be up there. Next week, we will have a replay of this show because I'm going to Pensacola Beach with my family. And I would like to thank my sponsors, ASAP Entertainment LLC and Syntex Roof Systems in Waco, Texas. Everybody have a great week. Peace out.